Hello, I'm Brendan Way. You're listening to the third episode of The Booth. The premise of the show is simple. Two guests and myself are recording this in a small, cramped, unair-conditioned room. The longer they're here, the more they'll suffer. So fortunately, I'm willing to give them the chance to leave, but only after they complete a series of questions and quiz-type games. Whoever I judge the winner at the end of the show gets their freedom. Who's ever left has to stay on for another week and another edition. Let's meet the victims. Joining me in the booth today, he started out in bands, but now he's gone solo as an energetic electric acoustic artist. Ah, that's music to my ears. It's Scott Freeman.
Hello, hello.
Next up, you would have thought that a 3-week stay in here would get him down, but luckily that's not been an issue. He was already a grumpy git to begin with. It's Dan LUXTON.
If there's anyone out there, please help me. I've been stuck in here with Brendan for what seems like forever now. He puts sugar in the tea before the milk. You've got to help me.
Gentlemen, later I'll be asking you for your weirdest ever thoughts, so rack your brains and make sure you got something to odd out your rival. Now, this week we're going back to class with a show all about primary education. First things first, did any of you go to school?
I think so. Can't really remember now.
I think so. So maybe.
Great! Then we'll start with our first round.
If it turns out we're both wrong, it's going to be a really terrible show.
Yes, absolutely. You saying the other shows have been good? It's the good, the bad, and the funny. In this anecdote off, each of you will relate your best, worst, and funniest times at a certain event or rite of passage. Every time we hear a set of stories, I'll judge one as more interesting, thus winning its teller a point. This week, your tales will involve your time at primary school. Who wants to start with a good story?
Leaving. I don't know. It was so...
Leaving? Is that your story? Leaving primary education was the best time.
I can't remember specifics now. It was so many years ago. I guess, when my sister started 4 years after I did. And, when you're that young, it's really a big thing. The first moment in your life when you've got someone younger than you that you can be proud of. Because before, my sister had just been the squeaking thing in the corner who,
You kept your sister in the corner?
Yeah, who made strange smells and ate everything. But
you're saying you don't do that?
Well, I'm sure I did when I was a little kid. But then you go to school and it's doing things for the first time. It's, it's actually forming your own identity.
Hang on, is your good story all of primary school?
No, my good story is having my little sister there and every good thing that my sister did at primary school that I could then be proud of her for.
That's heartwarming.
That's my good story.
Oh. Scott, can you beat...
Oh, yes, I can, Brendan.
Right, okay.
My good story from primary school was I was able to avoid every single sports day, and that made me very happy.
Okay, any particular ways you were able to do that?
I locked myself in the toilet and I cried till my mum said, "You don't have to go."
Oh, sorry, it was compulsory to take part?
It was compulsory to take part.
Wasn't it at your school?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of school did you think Scott went to?
I thought there was maybe a haven where it was not mandatory. The college sports day, that wasn't mandatory for me. I did the 100 metres, got 13th place. They announced it on the intercom. Brilliant. That's why I love sports so much.
Yeah, I can tell. That big basketball jersey you're wearing and the cap backwards.
That's just because I thought it was cool. It was cool in the 90s. I don't see why it's not cool now.
Yeah.
Why do people give me looks?
Yeah. Look, the 90s will come back.
I'm hoping the actual decade will come back. Just it will avenge.
It'd be nice to relive it, but as an older person.
Why did I like S Club 7?
We'll still be around the 2090s.
You're planning to stay around for the 2090s?
Current medical advances, everyone's going to live to over 100. So, yeah, we'll still be around. I will, at least.
I'll still be here, trapping people, giving them quiz questions,
making
them tell about their life. Yeah, your music can live forever.
Yeah.
Live beyond you.
Because I'm a musician, I'll probably die by the age of 27.
Well,
joking.
That's alright, I'll still remember you when I'm 102 and I'm carrying Brendan's head around in a cryo box.
For what purpose?
Just so that I can get people to go, "What's in the box?"
Okay, avoiding sports day or being proud of your sister. Well, that's unusually sweet for you, Dan, so you're going to get the point.
Hooray.
Okay, who wants to start with a bad time at primary?
I think the first time the playground was segregated, that really...
Whoa. What? Please clarify. What decade did you go to?
Oh, didn't you hear? I travelled back to the 50s from
Sorry,
my primary school days.
When you say it was segregated?
Infants on one half and juniors on the other half.
Right, okay. Why was that a bad thing? Did you interact with the juniors?
Yeah, I interacted. I interacted with the.
Did they make you the
youngest.
baby in their family role plays?
No, I was the lunch monitor to all 3 infant years over my time.
What does a lunch monitor do?
Sits in their classroom and eats lunch with them and makes sure they.
Brilliant. So you're just having lunch. It's not really a job.
No, but you bond with them.
What are you trying to establish? Whether they eat lunch correctly?
Yeah, it's the sort
Sandwiches
of
before crisps, crisps before dessert.
No, you're not going to leave a load of 5-year-olds in a classroom completely unsupervised. They've got to have supervision, and it teaches...
Health and safety gone mad. Health and safety gone mad.
it teaches the older kids responsibility for the first time. So yeah, I bonded with the younger kids. I knew which of them were bullies a lot better than the people that should have been making sure they weren't bullies knew who were bullies. So I kept my eye on things. But
okay, and the segregation stopped this?
Well, the segregation meant that... Well, first of all, the infant half of the playground was where all the cool stuff was. The hopscotch, the climbing frames and that. The half they'd given over to the juniors, 90% of that was the football pitch.
Ah. So if you don't like football...
Yeah. You're just stuck crammed into the side of the playground.
You can just do hopscotch on an imaginary grid. You can just skip. Nothing's going to stop you skipping. Imaginary ropes.
There were 2 trees, and that was my best friend and I's spaceship. I've just remembered that. Literally just remembered those 2 trees that are our spaceship. Oh, that was so cool. But yeah, the segregation in the playground.
It's bad, but the tree spaceships are good.
Oh, I love the tree spaceships, yeah.
Okay, Scott.
Bad story about primary school.
Yeah, like a bad time.
A bad time. I'm trying to think of a time at primary school that wasn't bad.
Okay, all the primary school was bad. Okay.
No, I've got one. My first day of primary school, playing with the kids, and they just didn't take a liking to me. And so they run over my hand with a go-kart, and I had a huge gash on my hand for weeks. It was horrible.
You know what should happen? They should segregate the playground to stop that sort of thing happening.
Yeah.
No, that's just playing into the hands of the man.
What? What was the logic behind the segregation, by the way?
To stop the older kids being too boisterous with the younger kids.
Huh. Well, I think Scott's evidence that they should have
Yeah.
not been boisterous.
Yeah, they didn't like me. I don't know why, but they
They ran you over.
with a go-kart. Yeah, it wasn't like electric, petrol-powered go-kart. It was
Yeah,
push
schools don't
one
have
bit.
that budget. Schools don't
They-
have the budget
they
for...
don't.
They do Flintstone style, feet to the ground.
Especially didn't have any money there. It was a dive, so they did that, and that sucked. I don't know. I've got several bad stories.
Okay, so...
Tree spaceship. My best friend
That doesn't sound
had...
bad. That sounds
No,
quite
but I just
lovely.
remembered it. Yeah,
That's
my
just-
best friend
That's not
had,
related to
had the kind of
segregation.
leaning tree, and he would kind of lie on it, and that would be his kind of take-off couch. And I would have the standing...
Take-off couch?
I would have the standing tree, and it would be my console, and I would
I've
type
never
things
heard the
into
phrase
the...
take-off couch
into
in
the
a
knots.
sci-fi. Mr. Scott, prepare the take-off couch. That's not a
Sci-fi
phrase.
is your-
No. I'm talking real science here. Like in Tintin, in the Tintin where they go to the moon, they all get bunk beds and they all lie on the couch, and they all lie on their bunk beds for takeoff and touchdown.
Do they?
Yeah.
Not Red Tintin.
Oh, Tintin's great. Read Tintin.
Okay, well, I kind of understand the segregation and why you would do that, even though, I mean, they can get teachers to eat lunch with people, they can get the slightly older kids in the juniors to eat the lunch, so I'm going to give Scott the point.
Well, hey,
Right, a funny time at primary school.
shall I go first? Just
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, a funny time. Well, it's funny looking back on it now. It wasn't very funny at the time. I remember I'd been to the Science Museum up in London, and as we got off the train, I saw this really lovely conker on the ground. It was all kind of shiny in the autumn, October light. And so I went over to the conker, and I bent down to pick it up, and the back of my trousers ripped open,
Ooh.
revealing my my underwear to the class.
Yay!
And, thus giving them lasting impression of me, and I was so embarrassed. But everyone else got a really big kick out of it.
Were you at least wearing clean underwear or plain underwear? Nothing like embarrassing like Transformers or...
I was wearing something embarrassing. I think this was the
A
time.
thong.
It was briefs. I think I was wearing briefs.
Oh, embarrassing. Oh, briefs, most embarrassing are the underwears.
Yeah, they were quite possibly Digimon briefs. I mean, I think I was in year 6. I was still into that, and so
Never too old for Digimon.
never too old for Digimon. People really underestimated, really underappreciated Digimon, but I didn't. That's
I
why
saw a
wore
later
them.
series in which the humans now transform.
Wow.
That makes no sense. Why are the humans suddenly
Oh,
Digimon?
yeah, because
now
now
everyone's
everyone's
Digimon.
made so much sense. It was so scientifically plausible.
It was about evolution, man. They grow up
That's
into
not
bigger...
how evolution works.
It really isn't how evolution works. I mean, they evolve and then they go back to how they were before.
Evolution,
It's the worst
devolution.
comment on evolution ever.
You mean I can't go back to baby Brendan?
No.
Oh. He had a fun time.
But anyway, yeah, that's my funny story. Teachers I ran into Shepperton High Street still remember that moment.
Was the Conquer at least good?
The Conquer was good. I wish I had kept it actually. How do you keep a Conquer fresh? Do you put oil on it and then
Put in vinegar.
Yeah, apparently vinegar makes it stronger. Top tip for anyone who wanting to play Conkers this autumn,
Yeah.
or any autumn.
There was a kid about 2 years older than us who had this conker that had lasted him for years, and it was just the core of the conker was all that was left, just this knobbly green lump.
Ugh.
But it was invincible. It smashed newer conkers to pieces. It was brilliant. I went to the Science Museum when I was in year 6. That was great.
Is this your story?
The plasma balls and,
Yeah.
that was... No, I'm just saying I love the Science Museum.
Okay,
There have been a couple of Starship exhibitions over there, over the years.
A couple of what?
Starship exhibitions.
Star Trek. Sorry, I thought you said starships.
Starships.
No, it's just a bunch of trees.
Okay, so what's your story, Darren?
Yeah, funny story from primary school. There was a World Book Day once. I think it was in year 6 when we all had to dress up as
Naturally, yeah.
as fictional characters.
Preferably in books.
Yeah.
Don't turn up as a film character.
No,
Get shamed for that.
my sister went as Tinkerbell, but I have it was the Tinkerbell from
Disney.
Disney. Yeah.
Well, one of the book is just light. She can't come as just light. Just shine bunch of torches.
No, I read a version of Peter Pan with illustrations where Peter Pan was naked. That was weird. Didn't read that again. Anyway, so I decided to go as King Arthur.
Yeah, brilliant.
From many books, although he is, of course, originally from
History.
mythology and folk tales.
Yes.
I owned a lot of play knights and shiny armour
everyone
stuff.
loves a wooden sword.
I had a fake coif to go over my head and a fake chainmail vest and that. Had loads of plastic swords when I was a kid. And my mum made me this thing to go over the chainmail with King Arthur's crest on it, yellow with a red dragon on it. And a cobbled crown.
That's pretty cool. That's
and
pretty cool.
so, yeah.
Coolest kid of the school.
I was the king of the school, man, and I turned up, and without planning it beforehand in any way, my best friend turned up as Merlin. It was amazing. Big wooden stick. He had a bag of magic tricks. He had made a crystal ball by just getting a load of tinfoil and wrapping around a goldfish bowl or something.
Wow. I would have just.
I can't remember what.
I would have just
what
kept
it was.
the empty goldfish ball. That looks more like a crystal ball than a bit of
tinfoil.
tinfoil.
Tinfoil. Yeah, and he had just a load of random stuff. I can't really remember it now because it was a long time ago. But yeah, it's totally unplanned. But yeah, we got to stride around as King Arthur and Merlin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you find a Guinevere?
Well, funny you should say that. No.
Oh.
But we were teasing each other all day about who we could make our Guinevere. Haha. Yes.
Looks.
So yeah, pipe.
I remember the funniest story.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
We always got time for funnier stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I was in year 1, and this was before I moved to Shepperton. So I lived in Stanford Morden, and there was a display about going on holiday, like the seasons,
Mm-hmm.
And so there was this one for the summer, and so a girl had made a display. She brought in an ice cream cone, and she put in a white napkin as the ice cream.
Yep, absolutely.
And I was a bit peckish, so I was walking by.
Oh no.
And so I took the cone, and I just left the ice cream behind.
So it was a genuine cone.
It was a genuine cone. It was a bit stale, and then I ate it, and then I got into big trouble about it, and the girl was crying because I ate her cone on the display.
Cone's a tenner penny. You just get a new cone.
Exactly.
That should be the end of it, really.
Yeah, but no, she was really upset, and I had to stand outside while the kids in class watched my favourite episode of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Whoa. Sorry. They deliberately picked it?
Yeah, they deliberately picked it, and then they put it on, and I was forced to stay outside and watch as they all enjoyed it.
What was your favourite episode? Thomas the Tank Engine.
It was the first episode with Henry, I remember. Henry.
R.I.P.
R.I.P., yeah.
Henry died?
No, he's just nationalised and sold off. updated version.
But yeah, that's my story, I think.
Okay, which story do you want to submit?
The first one got a bigger laugh, so I'll go for that one.
Oh, okay. Okay, so inexplicably both turning up as related characters or splitting your pants. If you'd picked the ice cream story, I would have said you, but I...
Oh, but I picked the ice cream story. You just misheard me.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
These are not the choice you're looking for.
No. I think everyone's got a splitting pants story. It's just
I don't.
children's
It's
stories.
happened to me like 20 times.
Well, that doesn't make it remarkable then. I mean, I split my trousers in Safeway. I mean, children's trousers just aren't made very
Safeway?
well.
Who goes to Safeway?
Back when it was Safeway. Back when I could pretend it was my store. Brendan Way, Safeway. Now it's Morrison's, son of Morris. No,
There's
everyone...
gonna be no Safeway after this if you don't pick my story.
There isn't any Safeway. It's gone. Safeway's gone. I've long reconciled with her. But yeah, everyone's got splitting pants stories, but not everyone has a, by complete coincidence, we turned up both as the same character story. So Dan gets the point.
Yeah. Can I just say, to cap off this round, something I've forgotten, which was that primary school was brilliant.
Right, okay.
Yeah, primary school's easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Do a bit of maths. 1 + 1. That's the maths homework.
4th year 5, all I did was read Harry Potter.
Was that the assignment, or just what you did?
No, my parents got divorced, so they were just like, oh, you can go sit in the corner and read if you like. Okay.
Okay, it's break time now, so let's go run around, pretend to be airplanes, and share some weird thoughts.
Okay.
Give each of your oddest ponderings in turn,
Oh,
and then I'll open them
not
up to debate
serious.
to see if we can
Sit back
see
down.
sense in them. Whoever ends up sounding the least rational wins the round. Who's got an odd thought?
Well, you go back to the 50s and all the great pulp sci-fi heroes. Dan
Yes.
Dare, Flash Gordon, Jet Morgan, Buck Rogers, and they've all got really silly names that no one in their right mind would ever have. But they all did great things. They travelled to far-off planets and fought aliens and saved the world a dozen times for breakfast.
Yes.
Look at the real world. The reason that we've stalled, the space program stalled in 1971 and never got going again, is because we've all our astronauts have got normal names. Buzz Aldrin, second man on the moon. That's a crazy name. That's why he was the second man on the moon. Whereas can you name a single astronaut today? No, you can't, because
What about the guy who fell from space, Felix Baumgarten?
Yeah,
That's a pretty. The
Yeah,
silly
and
names
so
go. That's a pretty immature,
and that's why
silly
he
name.
Yeah, Felix Baumgartner. He can do crazy stuff.
It's sort of Baumgartner. I think it's like John Baumgartner. It's something
That's
similar.
the of the week.
He can do something good, but because it's not a cool name, it's just a hilarious name. He just did something utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, he wouldn't
rather
get respect.
than become the first man to land on the surface of Titan or something. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
I think that
Your thought is...
I think that if we want to get humanity into space again, exploring Mars and the asteroid belt and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, we need to start naming our kids really ridiculous but short and snappy and exciting names.
Apple and Moses, Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin's children. Apple and Moses, could they be astronauts because they've got short, snappy names?
Not really. It needs to be one syllable.
Cher? Cher could be astronauts.
I don't know,
Dan?
something like-
Dan? Are you...
Dan.
Dan could be, like Dan Dare to go on the moon. Dan?
Yeah. It would need something.
Dan?
now
Scott?
kind of
You both have, for sure.
a
catchy
quite
names.
distinguished surname though to go after.
How many
it.
syllables?
2.
Luxton or Freeman? Okay, both of you up to space.
Yeah, but that's just
If you ever get out, Dan Luxton, Scott Freeman,
yeah.
space.
Yeah.
I've got
That's
it.
my inspiring thought. Not really a weird thought, an inspiring thought.
Okay. Well, I've got it in reverse in that I've got 2 syllables, 1 Brennan Way. I can't be an astronaut. I don't have a crazy name. Don't have a catchy name.
Yeah, but
Bren
Dan's
Wayman.
cheating because he's saying Dan Luxton instead of Daniel Luxton. And then that's
Yeah.
just-
No, but Daniel Luxton is weird because
Daniel Luxton is an academic. It sounds very
exactly.
formal. Dan's a cooler name than Dan.
It's like, hey, it's Dan. Hey,
Jamie
Dan.
sounds a bit younger than James.
Yeah.
It's all relative. It's all in the name.
Yeah. So do you think when people get older, they change their name from Jamie to James?
Depends whether they're young at heart. I mean, they could grow old, but it doesn't necessarily mean they grow up.
Yeah. So do you think like when you grow older, you'll change your name to like Ferenz or something.
No, it would be Brendanson.
Brendanson.
Yeah, Brendan is short for Brendanson.
Really? I don't know. It could be one of those old-fashioned names, like my name's short for Scotland. You know. So
Scotland Freeman!
that's what I got called for most of the primary school.
Kids are hilarious, aren't they?
They are
Very creative.
Scotland.
Jack Caesar.
No, that just
No,
sounds like
just
a
throwing
writer
that
on the
out. Jack
kind of an
Partridge.
American 60s comedy show.
Okay, forget that. Edit that out.
Jack Caesar. It's certainly a good character name. I'm not sure what Jack Caesar would be. I mean, I'm not sure what sort of script you'd put Jack Caesar into.
I could find something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jack Quasar. I gave Quasar as a surname to a character in my backup idea for fiction for children last year.
Yeah, Quasar. And that is Spacey.
Yeah.
Moon Quasar.
Quasar Moon.
Yeah, you need something to ground it a
James
bit.
Quasar.
James Quasar. I like it. James Quasar. Used to be called Jamie, but now he's James. He's an adult, and now he's going into
James.
space.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott, what's your weird thought?
Weird thought. You know me, I've got many weird thoughts. Do you want to give me
Just
a
one,
topic?
just one will do.
A topic, and then I can bounce off it.
Okay. Animals.
Animals.
Too wide.
It's quite wide.
Mammals.
Still quite wide.
Four-legged mammals.
Four-legged mammals.
Are all mammals four?
No.
Okay.
Do whales have 4 legs, Brendan?
Do you think you could domesticate like dolphins and sharks if we gave them 4 legs?
Huh. Well, they're quite intelligent. I mean, are they too intelligent enough to realise that being domesticated isn't that fun? Or is it fun? Would dolphins appreciate...
Cats enjoy it because they get what they like and still run
Yeah,
around
but
at night
cats are sort of
killing people.
in charge. They've made it work for them by dominating their
So,
household.
Just thinking if you've got like,
Not
a
just
dolphin-
their household, every
Everyone's
household
house.
in the street.
If you have a dolphin dog or a shark cat, you know.
We're not crossbreeding. We're just giving them legs.
No, we're giving them the legs of like a dog or the legs of a cat. You know,
That
because-
wouldn't. Then they would just crush them. The dolphin would just crush the little legs.
Yeah, but we'd get liposuction, you know. Get the
Liposuction dolphins give them legs. Okay.
Yeah. So they'd be very
It sounds
skinny
quite mean.
dolphins.
Skinny dolphins.
And
Well, they're
sharks.
quite slim from swimming.
So the sharks wouldn't have that much energy to eat you, which obviously they'd like to.
We're doing it to sharks as well.
We're doing sharks as well.
Okay, I thought it was just dolphins. Okay.
I think sharks could be quite cuddly if you took all the teeth out.
Okay, so
Wouldn't
we're...
they just grow back?
Yeah.
The shark's teeth grow back.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay, that'd be a regular thing, like taking it for a walk. You know,
Taking its teeth out.
It's taking its teeth out. Yeah. Like,
Okay, so liposuction, give them the legs of dogs and cats. And this sounds like torture.
It's not torture.
I think the
it's
RSPCA
domesticating.
That's...
But
Yeah,
why
that's
the
not
word
what
weak?
we've done to cats. We don't knock out the teeth of cats or cut off the tails of dogs to domesticate them.
No, well, obviously people cut off dogs' tails, but when did you take out a cat's teeth?
That's what I'm saying. You don't do that. Why should that be
I
part
know,
of the
but,
shark
like,
process?
I know, but people do cut off dogs' tails, and it just sounded like you were that being in the same sentence. It sounded like a
What?
real thing that you
They
perhaps do.
Why do they cut off the tails?
Why?
Yeah.
Because if it flaps around too much, and they don't want it to like slap children in the face, because otherwise it have to get put down. So they cut off the dog's tail.
Oh,
Have you
that's
never
mean.
Have you never seen a dog with its tail cut off?
I don't tend to
I
look
don't
at dogs'
go- yeah.
asses.
No.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
You're missing out.
Hmm.
You never been on a proper dog walk.
I thought you were going to say you've never been on a dog, like it was a ride.
Dog
About that, what a proper dog. What's a proper dog walk?
What's a proper dog?
What you mean
walk?
around other
Well,
like
when
where
you-
all the other dogs are
You
walking?
taking, like,
Look, we're not the type of people that notice whether dogs have tails because we don't go around, as Brendan said, staring at dogs' asses. I mean, I can categorically tell you whether or not Brendan has a tail, but dogs, I don't go around looking at their asses.
I don't go around looking at their asses, but I have a dog, and so when you're walking around, you might be walking behind the dog.
Your
and
dog
you-
has your tail? Its tail?
Yeah,
Doesn't
he's
have
got-
your tail.
No.
My dog's really
What
strange.
the tail
like,
is telling now.
I got a German Spitz, right? So like his tail isn't like a sticky out one; it's like a swirl.
Your
onto
German
his body.
Spitz?
He's a German Spitz, yeah. It's like a miniature husky.
Right, okay. And how did you domesticate him? Take out his teeth, take off his tail?
No, I just let him shit everywhere.
That's not domesticated.
No.
Domesticated is making them crap in a box.
No,
or
but
go
eventually,
outside.
after he got it all out of his system, he didn't want to do it anymore. So
Really?
yeah.
That doesn't sound like it will work. If you were just allowed to do it, I think you would... If you didn't domesticate a human, they would just continue. They wouldn't get a sense... Do dogs have a sense of shame?
I think dogs have a sense.
Yeah,
of shame.
when you go no to a dog, it goes puts its head down.
Sounds
It's
like he's
miserable.
powering down.
The dog powers down.
I think,
The lights in its eyes go out.
I think animals, like,
We're not knocking his lights out. That again is cruel.
they kind of almost represent parts of human nature and kind of a different kind of human characteristics. That's a beautiful thing. And so many different dogs, like, there's so many different human characteristics. Like, you know, you get, like, what do you call them? What are they called?
Use your words. Describe what you're trying to
words.
give.
It's black and it's white.
Zebra.
Crossroads.
Zebra
A
dog.
book.
No. A book. Crosswords. No, it's not coming to me. But
Penguin.
but like
None.
animals just none. Okay. No, it's not coming to me.
Very closed-minded view of race relations.
Yes.
I don't know. But dog. And then there's dogging, isn't there? Like dogging.
Not related, not domesticated.
Not
That's the
domestic-
opposite
But how do
domesticated.
you domesticate dogging?
I don't think it's ever been
It's,
domesticated.
Domesticated dogging is just called normal sex, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. That's within the marital bed. That's what domesticated dogging is.
Domesticated dogging. Dogging is really strange. Like if you park, I've not been dogging, but I've been parked next to a lot of people that have been dogging.
What, you just happen to be there.
Well, I was taking a girl out, and I just thought, oh, this is a lovely view.
Yeah, you'll never guess where I'm taking you on a date.
it was an accident. I swear. I was like, oh, this is a nice little river. Oh, you can go under the bridge and look out at all the boats passing. I was just like, let's go under here, and then we parked, and then I noticed, like, it's not just in the films that the windows get steamed up.
Yes, okay, so that's when you realised something was up.
Yeah, that's when I realised something was up.
You put away your camera.
But you do wonder when you're there with a girl and there's a bunch of people in cars dogging. Do you think,
Should we just join in?
Should we drive
Peer
away?
pressure, the ultimate peer pressure.
is like-
Should you join in with dogging?
It is. You're sat behind the wheel with your killing machine thinking... we could be doing that.
Whoa. You're in a tank? You took your
Car.
girl on a date in a tank? A killing machine? Or is your thought, all cars are killing machines?
That's what I got told by my granddad as I got a car, as he put the keys in my hand. He was just like, I just want you to know you were driving a fully licensed killing machine. I was just like,
Jeez, I can't wait to see what he says when you get your first child. Congratulations. It'll ruin your life.
What would you put in a tank if you didn't have all the weaponry and ammunition in there? Could you, like, turn it into a little camper van or something?
Yeah, probably. You'd certainly always get a spot.
but they're not very fast, are they, tanks?
No.
No,
Neither
neither
are camper vans.
Yeah, absolutely. So nothing shakes or falls off.
Yeah, but camper vans are slightly faster than tanks.
Only slightly. But, you know, and camper vans, people look at you driving a camper van and think, oh, what a saddo. No one's going to think that if you drive down the high street in a tank.
Yeah, they're just going to back away without without turning away from you. They're just going to keep their gaze on you.
So I've just been reading The Dark Knight Returns from like a comic book module, and then Batman's in like a proper tank there. He just shows up. He's just like Alfred, prepare the car. So you think he's going to show up on one of his slinky little cars, a huge tank, and he's just blowing
Is it the
people
Bat
up.
tank?
It's not the Bat. It's just a big military tank, and it's just
Ah.
insane. And later on, he rides a horse through the night.
Bat horse?
Not a bat horse, no. This isn't Adam West. This is gritty old psychopath Batman.
Boo. Bring back Adam West.
Yes. I'd just like to say I'm very excited because Ant-Man got a release date yesterday. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. We've gone very far from your idea of domesticating dolphins, which I think
yes.
was your original thought. So
Yeah.
domesticated I was trying to say daughters. Domesticated daughters.
No, that's something
just,
different entirely.
That's just wives.
No,
That's
not
fine.
marrying your daughter.
Don't marry your daughter. It could end up messy.
That's our advice for today. If you take anything from the show, don't marry your daughter and get a weird name to be an astronaut. Okay, so you have to think, Dan. People have pretty weird names right now. I mean, Apple and Moses are pretty. They may not be.
Yeah, but they're not dynamic names. We laugh at them.
Yeah, but I think there are so many odd names that there must be some short, dynamic, actually quite cool, silly names. So as much as it pains me to give Scott the point, I think hitting the teeth out of sharks, slimming them down via liposuction, and giving them the legs of cats is the weirder thought.
Hey! High five myself.
Okay, you're currently drawing, but wait! Is that a fast burst of flames? That can only mean one thing. Either we've got to
Curry for
evacuate,
lunch.
or it's the quickfire round.
Woo!
In this final game, I'll ask you a series of questions whose answers relate to our theme. You not only have to get them right, but get in first. To help you to that end, you both have verbal buzzers, as this edition is about school. Scott, you shout sir, sir, and Dan, you shout miss, miss. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, number 1. What body part rules the school?
Miss!
Yes.
The head.
Correct. If an ill-behaving student is like a rotting fruit, what do you call him?
Ill-behaving student is like a rotting fruit. I don't
It's
go
fun.
around calling people cider. Oh, what have you done, you cider?
You're in the right type of fruit.
Bad apple?
Yes!
Is that a thing?
Yes, a bad apple is a bad...
But you didn't go miss.
Miss, a bad apple.
Yes! you could have stolen it. Yeah, a bad apple. Yeah, someone can be a bad apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Heard of bad egg. Egg isn't a fruit though, so that wouldn't have counted.
No. Number 3. What subject involves spotting a cuppa?
Spotting a cuppa.
Like noticing it.
Spotting, noticing.
Noticing that there is a cup of tea in the room.
Yes. 3 letters. One of which must be a word for a cuppa.
Tea.
Yeah, that's the last letter. What are the others? What involves saying you've noticed a cuppa?
ICT. Miss, ICT.
Yes! What subject indicates a conservative...
This round is going so well.
What subject indicates... He's been in here 3 weeks. What subject indicates a conservative owned by a man?
Oh, Miss, history.
Yes.
His Tory.
His Tory, yes. What 2-word phrase is also the command a drama teacher uses to get all their pupils to perform?
Shut up.
I should say it's a complimentary phrase.
A complimentary phrase that gets drama students to start.
Yes, so it's dual uses. Drama teacher, he wants them to perform. What's another word for perform?
Act.
Yeah, what's a group of pupils?
Miss, class act.
Yes! So, okay.
You really had to help us with these. If you have to give us that much help, it's time to rethink the round.
It's really hard. 1.
Okay, at the end of all that, we have a winner, but first a chance to plug. Panelists, is there anything you want the internet to know about?
Yes, I am a musician by night. By day, I direct a theatre company called Winch Rights. But as I said, by night, I am a musician. I'm a solo acoustic artist. I'm gigging around Winchester and surrounding areas, and as soon as I finish university, I can go and play more. So if you want to find out more, go to facebook.com/sfmusic, and there's links to my SoundCloud from there.
Okay, Dan, anything else?
Yeah, well, contrary to popular belief, when we're not in the booth, Brendan and I do not spend all our time avoiding each other like the plague, but we are, in fact, running a comedy night here in the teeming heart of Winchester called the Late Train Comedy Night. It's the last Sunday of every month at the Railway Inn.
Except for December, when it's December 16th.
Yep, because we're all going home for Christmas. Yay, Christmas! It's
Yeah,
in
we
2
get to
months' time. I'm
eventually
so
leave.
excited.
The booth is temporarily open for Christmas, so
Yeah.
doesn't mean we can't have a Christmas special.
We will have a Christmas session where every single panellist we've had once crowds in here.
Oh dear.
We say they leave the show, it just means they're not near the mic. I mean, you can't really leave this booth, it's locked. I've lost the key.
Yeah.
We are all... I mean, and Tosh is just chatting with Sam in the background. They're just discussing their relative love of dubstep. Okay!
Yeah. So, Late Train Comedy Night, last Sunday of every month, apart from December when it's the 16th, at 8 o'clock, is it?
Yes,
Yep.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we've established a time. If you turned up and I didn't, I mean, that would be...
Yeah.
It's like, where is everyone? Okay, final scores. Scott, you 2 points. For this week's winner is Dan with 7.
Yes!
Dan, you finally
I
get
finally
to lead the
won!
booth! As for Scott, you get to stay on for another show, and until then, I'll be submitting your eyes to a video of my performance in the school assembly. It's a pain for the pupils. Until next time then, you're glad you're leaving these jokes.
Yes.
Until next time then, I'd like to thank Scott Freeman,
We're here.
Dan LUXTON,
Yeah!
the MMC, and you for listening. I've been Brendan Way. This has been The Booth. Goodbye!